Hey Sisterhood series, welcome to the last part of episode 4, Table Talk with Janelle.
It's another example of a valley you went through, came back up, and it gave you an experience afterwards. And now,
And now you're like, and now,
back
no.
in bed.
No, when we saw that, she like it went. She said you went through a valley and then you came up, and now her voice got quiet. She's
Like, let me not claim that over her.
But that's life, though. Peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they always say God's greater than the highs and lows. He's with you in the valley. He's with you on the mountaintop.
And every valley looks
He'll
different.
push you right off the cliff real quick. So you better be right.
That's what we said just the other day. Like, you think you got all this and he's going for you, and he wakes
Look
up.
at Job.
Let's switch that up.
The book of Job. God let the enemy take everything from him.
Yeah, Job. Yeah.
Everything. His
If he's
family.
still steadfast in faith, that's where you have to. And that's where like things happen. Like we were talking about in the car, like things happen and people will be like, how could God do this?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes, just like Sarah said, like you need to like rearrange that question. Like you can, that's emotion. So yeah, when you're in a moment and you're like, wow, God, like how could you do this? But I found myself saying that in the beginning of my situation to now exactly what Sarah said. I literally pray at night, like, I want you to continue to show me what you're teaching me in this season.
Instead of saying, like, how could you do this? It's like, okay, like,
Why?
show me the reason why we're doing this. Like, where are we going from here?
Yeah, like there's a lesson out of
No,
this.
no,
He doesn't bring forth all this craziness for there not to be something on the other side or for me to learn something. So
something greater.
Yeah. But I feel like you almost have, everybody has to hit, you almost have to hit like a really challenging rock bottom for your life to have an effect, like a change in effect.
Our New Year's resolution every year, we're going to get closer to Christ, and we never did it. And we both got flown to the bottom of the valley this year, literally to the same day almost. And look at us now. Because I know I always say it, but was I ever going to actually do it? I don't know. And he was probably like,
that's where I can tell you now, when I used to say, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to read my Bible every day. I'm going to pray. Like, I want, like, family needs to be like grounded in faith, but was never putting him first. Like, wasn't first in family, wasn't first in finances, wasn't first in just my work. So he's like, you praying for me to be first. Well, I'm going to take away everything you think belongs first. And I'm going to literally took everything that I thought belonged first and has now put himself first. And some people look at it as like, well, that's of God. Well, no, it's showing me faith.
Yeah.
It is astounded faith in me like no other. And it like I say, this probably sounds so crazy and foreign to people who are just way off the chart and just have no faith or a bigger belief than what's here on earth. But that's how that's my faith. That's what I believe in. And that's I'm sitting here and I'm in a season of just, he's teaching me something, he's showing me something, he's changing my heart. And it's just, it's all for the better. Like he is a good God. Like he's not going to now bring my next plan forth and it's going to be 10 times disastrous. Like it's going to be good because that's his promise and he stands on his promise. So
like regardless of what you believe in, because like I said, that is a very sensitive and a very individual and emotional like journey. I feel what I don't get is how people at least don't have that something to depend on or look to or rely on. Like we have God. There's people that have like Buddha and all these other things. Like they have something that they rely on, that they pray to, that they look to. And I just don't, like, if I was ever in a bad place and I didn't have that something to look up to, I don't like how I never understood how people got through things. Like how, like if you don't have something to look up to or a hope or anything like that, how are you dealing with things?
Like, I don't know if people ever truly then do get through things. I think people put it down until it suppresses in who they are.
I think you have to have something to look forward to, no? or look up to.
That's so crazy. I saw a video and somebody was like, what if all this belief you have and all this is not even real? And it was like, well, at least I know I'm living my life. So if it is real and I get there, I did what I was supposed to do. And now I get to live in eternity. But
If it wasn't, at least there's something moving you forward.
and if it is, and you didn't do anything, your eternity looks a lot different from my eternity. See, everyone has different beliefs, truths, but
No, I know that, and that's what I'm saying. Like everyone has different ones, and that's not like the point. The thing is, if you literally don't have something that you're looking forward to, like how do you? I don't understand. Like,
well, like I personally,
my mom,
I think you just suppress. It becomes character. So if you
Yeah.
have a character flaw that you don't address, and you just don't have anything to help you get through it, or if you don't have people to talk to, counseling, you just suppress it, and then eventually becomes you.
yeah,
It becomes you.
yeah, like my grandma, I didn't grow up in the church like at all. I never went to church. But my grandmother always would get us these little godly books and stuff like shit. It's like she always was low key planting seeds in all of us. And I always believed there was a God, but my mom always had these sayings that she would say, like everything happens for a reason, just stuff like that. And it was funny because then when I was like in the faith and stuff, I was like, that's literally, I found out that's literally a Bible verse. The what my mom was telling me my whole life, that everything happens for a reason and like it is what it is and like it's gonna be okay, was literally one of my favorite Bible verses now is Jeremiah 29:11. Like I have plans for you, a hope in the future. Like, everything happens for a reason because it's not according to how I thought it was going to work out or to my plans, it's according to his plans. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, like my mom's been telling me this my whole life, but differently, because she still has a hope in something. She doesn't go to church, but she has a hope in something and looks forward to something. And like when I saw that as a little verse in front of my eyes, I was like, sheesh. Like it's just mind blowing. And the more I felt like I read and dove into my faith, the more I saw things that just made sense and that just brought me so much more clarity and more peace as I went through like the valley that, I'm still trying to get out of. It just makes sense. It makes sense to me, but there's people that practice spirituality and all that. That's what helps them. But the people that literally don't do anything, I don't get it. If you can explain to me, like, please do. Because I just feel like you have to have something that you look up to. Whether it's different from what we look up to or not, like there has to be. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't look forward to something. Or what do you think happens when you die? Like I don't know. I won't get into all that. Janel, you look like you want to say something.
No, it's just my thought was really, it's like we would really have to ask somebody that is one of those people that to look up to.
That's what I'm saying. Like I know people.
I like asking people that have always looked or thought of there being a higher power and all that. It's hard.
Higher power. That's the word. Like I feel like
not think of that and know what it's like, if that makes sense. To be able to speak on that and have never been in that position. So it's like,
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like I
don't know. Like you're trying to explain it. I was like, I'm trying so hard to get what you're saying, but it's like when it just becomes you, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm trying to say. Like
I don't know, like if you're well, but then
is that what it is?
Think about it. Like
if hear from someone who like literally does not have that higher power that they look
I
to.
just think everything that you go through with somebody who has nothing, you suppress it. You suppress everything because who are you releasing it to, or who are you talking to, or asking forgiveness for? Like you're suppressing it within your being, and then it becomes your being. That's why you have to work. You need to talk out like traumas. You need to talk out childhood trauma. You need to seek counseling. You need to seek faith. You need to seek what is going to work best for you to be able to move through like things you go through. How do you just go through something and suppress it? It becomes you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I feel like everyone has to believe in a higher. You have to believe in something. Whether
it's hard because you would think that, but there's a lot of people.
That's what I'm saying. I need to find that one person to like try to just have that conversation. Like, okay, you don't believe in anything, so like, so what do you?
Oh, just I just live and I die.
Right?
Because like I've met people who are like atheists don't believe in anything, right?
Yeah. They don't
Science.
believe in a God oh yeah.
Oh, they believe in science. So okay, so they believe in something. So that's what I'm
Right,
saying.
So
Like,
then it's like, yeah.
But science and death, what? I don't know. So when you go through something crazy, it was science. So look how
It's cause
crazy
and
that's
effect
at.
to them.
it was the way that
Cause and effect to them.
it was the way that the moon lined up with the star in the east and the
Yeah,
sun.
it's I don't know.
Wait, what did you just say?
Exactly.
It doesn't make no darn sense.
It's just so hard to wrap your brain around because it's like,
Yeah, it's just faith is literally trusting in and believing in something that is unseen.
Yeah.
You don't. That's literally what faith is. I
don't know. It's a testament to my life. And when people ask me how I make it,
me too.
mhm.
And that's why, like,
hope it's the response that makes somebody be like, okay, let me see what this chick's talking about, because
that's why I don't be
hope is-
people like I have people in my life that don't be going to church, and I'm not pushy to them, and I won't be because like I said, it's personal, but I do be planting seeds, and I do make
like
comments.
I said last night, bring them to the well.
And I make my little comments like, oh well, I go to like my friends, like my school friends at school, they know I go to church every Sunday. Y'all know what I'm doing Sunday morning. I will not be studying with you. I'm going to church. So it's like people watch you. Yeah, maybe they don't comment on it, but they're observant. Like they're like, oh well, she's happy. She's going through this and she's happy. Like she's doing something. And it's like, but you're watching me consistently do that thing on Sunday morning. Then they're like, like, I'm curious. Like, that's what makes people curious. And when they're observing you, that's why you never know who is watching. I don't know how I would have processed everything if I did not have my faith to lean on. I just wouldn't have.
That's what I'm solely leaning on.
The hole that I was in, there's no way. There ain't no way I would have gotten through it.
And it's like a constant person to talk to. Like I don't gotta wait to talk to somebody. Like, at my desk and be like, my kids could be outside on the playground. I'd be like, just hold me for a sec. Like it's constant. I lay in bed and be talking to him. And that's what I was doing throughout that series. If you have never watched The Chosen, I highly recommend you watch The Chosen, because it brings the Bible to life, and it's a lot more easier to understand the story of Jesus Christ and what he came on earth to do. And
then Netflix.
Yeah. Well, the first season is, and then you got to find the second and third. It's so I don't know. We watched the second season on
You get on Netflix, just put it all on there.
But it is just like every miracle. Like when he healed the leper, like I cried. When the woman who had 5 husbands, but none of them were her husband, and like I cried. Like him healing this, like to see it like played out, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so beautiful. Like it is just, I highly suggest it. I'm on season 3, y'all, and I got to season 3 in a day and a half. So.
You on season 3? We were just talking yesterday, and you were still on season 1. No,
I'm telling you,
episodes.
It was weird. Some were like an hour. One or a few were like 37 minutes randomly, and then a couple were like an hour and 2 minutes. But once one ends, you're like, dang, I gotta see the next. What he gonna do next? Like he changed water into like what he gonna do next? Like it is just, and I just be cheering. Oh, I don't know. It's so beautiful.
You know, you say that you're just always talking to God throughout the day and everything. And the craziest thing that I was gonna mention is I feel like every phase of like my come up, there's been a new, or not even new, but there's been that like worship song in those few weeks that I cling to so heavy. And like looking back, there was one where I just like really, at a time where I just really felt so lonely and didn't talk to nobody about anything. There was this line that was just like, I can call on him when I need him, and he's still my friend. And I used to literally listen to that song on repeat. I used to cry to that part, like shout at the top of my lungs. Then it's like that was probably in the worst of it. And then it's like it moves to like the joy of the Lord. And that's when I really was starting to get my groove back. And then I feel like there's just always that like one song that you cling to that is just so evident in your like spirit and that phase of like healing and growth and everything, that you really do be just like just talking to him at all times. Like he really does be providing what you need in those moments. Like in those car rides, that's what I need. I need to hear those songs. I need to hear those words. Like I need to hear that like I could call on him and I could talk to him anytime, any moment, every day. Like in that time, that's what I needed. Like constant reminder. And then it came to a point where I do talk to him all the time. And, you know, I call on him whenever I'm sad or wherever I'm thinking or overthinking or anything. Like, boom, that's the first person I call on. Boom, that's the first thing I think about first thing when I wake up. Like, it's just crazy how the things just come to you when they're supposed to. The messages come to you when they're supposed to. Like me and you have talked about multiple times how verses stick out and you will see them for like weeks straight. The same verse, the same words. Like I kept saying, don't lean on your own understanding, don't lean on your own understanding for like 2 weeks straight, every single day, whether it was someone posting it, someone saying it popping up somewhere, like every single day for 2 weeks, I saw that. And I was like that's not coincidence. That's literally you being spoken to.
That's mine was you will reap what you sow. And then I just was like, I know he's like, keep in with me. Like you're doing what you should be doing in this moment and in this season. Like, and I keep saying it, your harvest is coming. Like you're planting where you really should be planting. Because when things happen to you, you either run to the world or you run to God or whatever, like we said, it may be for you, but.
Janelle, what do you do in times where you feel like you're like hitting a low or you're going through a moment or a time, or like what helps you get through things?
I feel like it's not always the same because sometimes
like depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Depends
on the situation. It depends how hard it's hitting, I guess, at the moment. Like, because sometimes I think I try to push some emotions away, but
just like roll it off your shoulder.
But there have absolutely been times where like I'm literally like speaking out loud, like God, please tell me what to do because I don't know what to do, or please like give me a sign, a blatant sign, because I feel like nothing else is telling me what to do.
Like what direction am I going?
I'm excited for a second. Because in the beginning I prayed for like show me like neon lights, like where am I supposed to be going? Sometimes when you feel like he's quiet, don't feel like you're alone, but he wants you to be still and he wants you to wait. Because when you think you're like, I can't do this, I've got to give up, he's going to turn in your favor like no other. And it's going to be when you least expect it. Like, I'm telling you, when you're like, what the heck am I doing right now? What should I be doing? Lean in a little closer and keep asking and keep talking. And even though it's like, oh my gosh, months have gone by and I've seen nothing, you're going to one day, something is going to happen in your life and you're going to be like, oh,
there's no other explanation.
And that's what people keep telling when it feels like it's your steps are going nowhere and he's not talking to you and you don't, it's that curve where he's like, patience. I'm teaching you patience. I'm teaching you faith.
Yeah.
Because if you just keep leaning in, like I have something for you. Like you can't give up now.
Yeah.
And it would be hard to give up when you make all this. Like for me, it would be crazy for me to turn on my faith. Like that would be insane. I'd like mentally insane. Like the growth I've made just in 5 months. Like, there's
no way I would have gotten through what I went through this noticeably. Knowing like how my history of like, you know, like having anxiety and stuff, there ain't no way I would have gotten through that if I didn't leave my faith. Like I will always turn to my faith.
So it is. So when you feel like you're like, what am I supposed to be doing? And you're just calling out and it feels like he's like not there. He's there.
Yeah. Like
he is.
For me, one of those things has been like the program that I was telling you guys about that I've been trying to get in for the past 3 years. And I feel like I keep like praying on it or like trying to talk to him about it. And I'm like, okay,
And you know what's so crazy?
Why
You
is
may
it still
think
not happening and I'm still working towards it?
but you know what?
Maybe that might not be the right program.
He could send you something in the mail in 2 weeks and you apply and you get in first try. Like it's so divine. It's so crazy. It really is.
Nelly, I am in New York, okay? Like, I'm in a program in New York. I was applying out there, and I just happened on a whim to apply. First chance, I didn't get in. Second time, I didn't tell nobody that I was trying to get in again. 2 weeks later, I got my acceptance letter. Literally, that's why I'm telling you, I do not tell anybody any moves I'm making until it's happening, because I don't. And did I think that I was going to be all the way out here doing no, I thought I would have been there doing a program. Like, it will come out the blue. You don't know where you're going to go. Maybe you're in another state, or maybe like another opportunity pops up. It literally, like Bri said, the waiting, like trusting what he's going to do.
That's a faith. You're in a faith season. We all are, but that it is. It's like, what do I do next? And it's.
And I wanted to give up. I was like, if I don't get into this, I don't even want to try anymore.
And that alone, it like that's the enemy. The enemy wants to come, kill, destroy. Like it's the purpose of why he is doing what he's doing.
And the craziest thing is, after I failed that nursing program, like I was never gonna ever go do it again. I was so embarrassed, so ashamed. And then I had a very real conversation with someone one day, and they're like, this is something that I see that you're very passionate about. Like, do not give up. You're not going to sit there and give up. Try again. And I was like, you know what?
That conversation could have been the sign from him to her, like, keep going. Yeah. Like, I didn't tell you to stop. And that he put that person in her path to tell her, you got to keep going.
You guys only knew that I moved out here because you guys are people that I talk to regularly. If I don't talk to you on a regular basis, you don't know that I live in another state right now.
Yeah.
I'm so private about what I'm doing because I just don't. You don't know until it's already happening, because I'm telling you, people really be working against you and what you want. And it's that jealousy and like greed, and you have something that they want. And I just, And you don't know everyone's story. You don't know what it took to get me here. You don't know what I'm going through while I'm here.
No.
You can't look at someone else's story and think that it's perfect, because you don't know what it took them to they went through to get to where they are now.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely those little conversations and stuff. You're right, Bri. That's definitely not. Those are not coincidences. This is definitely him telling us, like, don't give up, like, stay course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
And you'll see yourself, like, you'll see it.
Well, we're gonna be having this conversation.
Person, you
And
gotta.
we're gonna be laughing at it soon.
It is. This is the hardest season to be in. Waiting, because we are the most impatient people. Like, the human race is so impatient. Yeah.
And think about it. We have things that
everything you want can get at the snap of your fingers. So when you have to sit and be in faith and wait, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so foreign.
Yeah. And then you try to do other things and they're not working out because they're not supposed to work out. You're supposed to sit there and wait.
Whatever's coming for you is so divine for you. It is literally for you. Yeah. It's gonna blow your mind. It is.
Wait, what did you say?
Gonna blow her mind.
Oh, I thought you said something divine. I'm like, you just said that to me yesterday.
Well, it is divine.
No, but what was the thing? What was the phrase you were using yesterday?
Called divine appointment.
Divine appointment. That's what it's called.
Like, when people are like,
tell me what that is.
Like, I was talking about this, and the next thing you know, this happened. Like, people call it coincidences. A lot of people in faith call it divine appointment. That was so destined for you to cross that person.
Yeah. I know, like, it's nice to know that there's an actual term for it, because I didn't know. I didn't know how to explain it. I was struggling to explain what I was trying to explain to her yesterday. She was like, that's divine appointment. Like, pause.
Yeah.
I'm like, Bri, I know what I'm trying to say, but I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, and a lot of people just are like, oh, people are just like, oh, it's such a coincidence. Like, bitch.
And they're like, you know what's crazy? You know who I met? It's like, no, I don't think it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's actually not crazy. Totally believe
Sometimes
it.
I do be getting caught in those moments. Like I'll be like, oh, like it was a rough
But
day.
we be doing it, we be taking
I'm like,
right
I'm
away.
trying to read my Bible, and I'll open it, and the devotional for the day is like
Something
the
you need to hear.
words that needed to just flip it entirely. And I'm like, I just look up and I'm like, got me again. Like, like
No, I definitely had those moments too when I read something. I was like, yo, I really needed that to start my day. Like, I needed that. That was a word I need to hear.
and it's the same with getting in the car. Like I'll get in the car and turn on like the radio or the first song that pops up on my playlist. And I'm like, dang, like you're on point.